Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my kids see my mother after she sold the home I paid for? Ooh, sounds like it's gonna be filled with drama. Okay. For nearly 9 years, I lived in and paid for a home under the agreement that once it was paid off, my mother would transfer the title to me. The home was in her name, but I covered the mortgage, lot rent, and all expenses. I also put my own money into renovations and repairs like new flooring, light fixtures, refinishing cabinets, replacing appliances, and fixing the oven. My mom originally bought the home in 2015, planning to leave her husband. When she changed her mind about the divorce, she offered it to me, saying it was a great way to invest my money into something for my future. I agreed and moved in, believing I was working toward ownership. The roof and her changing the terms. In 2022, my roof started leaking. I called my mom for advice, but she didn't know anyone who could do small repairs. My boyfriend at the time, who had roofing experience, helped me fix it, and I paid for all the materials. Later, she insisted on sending out someone she knew to check the roof. Since the home was in her name, I couldn't stop her. She then decided to have the entire roof replaced without my consent. When I asked about the cost, she brushed it off and said, "Don't worry, God always provides." In early 2023, she suddenly demanded $3,000 for the roof, despite never discussing payments beforehand. I told her this felt unfair, since I never agreed to it. I offered to make monthly payments, but she was furious. Her final ultimatum. In early 2024, I was less than $3,500 away from fully paying off the home. I was ready to be done with all the drama. But then, in February of 2024, my mom raised the roof cost by another $1,500, bringing it to $4,500, and added other random fees, telling me I had 1 week to pay over $20,000 or move out. I was stunned. I asked why, and all she said was, "The choice is yours to make. You just have to decide what path to take." No explanation, just an ultimatum. When I refused, she started making my life hell. In April of 2024, she showed up unannounced and refused to leave until the police made her. At that point, I had no choice. I packed up my kids and moved out on May 1st of 2024. Not long after, she sold the home I had spent nearly a decade paying for, keeping all the money for herself. My family thinks that I should move on. Now, my family says I'm the bad guy for cutting her off and keeping her grandkids away. But my kids want nothing to do with her. They were old enough to understand what happened and felt just as betrayed as I did. To make things worse, she has been showing up uninvited to my kids' events and causing scenes. I'm now looking into legal options to keep her away, as I don't want her forcing her way back into our lives. My family says I should just move on because it's not worth losing family over. But I can't just forget about all the money I put into that home. It's been almost a year, and I am now seeking legal advice because I refuse to let her get away with it. I feel like I owe her nothing at this point, but my family keeps guilt-tripping me, saying I'm being too harsh. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my kids see my mother and not just moving on like my family wants me to? OP, you are completely not the a-hole. Your mother used and abused you basically at this point. Her name was not on the house or on the title, but you're the one who financially paid for it. And yet, she sold it and didn't share any of that payment. To make matters worse, you spent so much money and so much time fixing up this home with the impression or with the thought that it will eventually be yours because that was what was promised from your mom. You're definitely not the a-hole. I would have thought the same thing. And what your mom did is completely unethical. I mean, that is just unbelievable. That is completely selfish and entitled, and that just made me so angry. And I feel so bad for you, OP, because you cannot get back the years that you spent on there. Money, yes, you can get back. It's going to take a long time to get back that money, but it's the time that you can't get back. You spent nearly 10 years paying for a house under the impression and guise of that it will eventually be transferred to you. But instead, your mom pulls the rug underneath you and sold the house and kept everything from you. And to make matters worse, she demanded more money from you. Like, did she not contribute at all to this home? From what I'm reading and from what you wrote, you were you're basically like the homeowner. You were taking care of the mortgage, the lot rents, all the upkeeps and everything. So what was your mom contributing? The only thing that she did was having her name on that house. That's just incredibly awful of what happened to you. And I hope you do seek some kind of legal compensation for this, because I don't see how your mom can get away with taking up all the profit from that sale, other than the fact that she sold the house. And I mean, I know that process is a very long, drawn out, and tedious process. It's not easy. So for the fact that your mom just went ahead and still did it, wow. I mean, that's just incredibly. I would definitely go no contact with your mom for sure. And I'm glad that at least your kids are old enough to realize what a mean person their grandmother is. And they see her true colors at this point. Anyways, let's see what some of the commenters have to say about this. First commenter says, if the amount of money you invested in the house is so insignificant to the rest of your family, they can reimburse you. It will help you get over it. You are not the a-hole. I completely agree. Yeah, any of these family member guilt tripping you, saying that you should just move on and forgive your mom or just have your mom back in your lives. Know what? No. Let them see how they would feel if it happened to them. I think they would change their tune. And or like this commenter says, if it's so insignificant, then they can pay you the money that you spent on your mother's home. And then another follow-up commenter says, you know what? You're totally right. Could you help make my kids whole? I'm asking all family to donate to the kids' housing fund. Just trying to make up the X amount of dollars the kids lost out on that would have gone to their permanent home. It would mean a lot to just keep the peace. Yeah, that's a great response, commenter. Another commenter agreed to it by saying, excellent suggestion. Yes, sure, Aunt Emma. I just need you and every other adult member of the family to pitch in $10,000 each, and then I'll have all the money back from the hag that stole from me, and she can come visit the kids under supervision for as long as they want to see her. After all, family is more important than money, right? Ooh, another snarky remark. I like that. Another commenter says, that grandmother is a super B of the highest order. To sell a house and go through the ample paperwork it takes without pausing of how it will negatively affect the daughter, that's mega B material right there. That's so true. Another commenter says, I would go no contact with mom and tell any relative who is pressuring you to just get over it, that any mention of forgiving mom means you will go low contact or no contact with them as well. Who needs people in your life who tells you to forgive someone who cares so little for her daughter and grandchildren that she took away their home? Dang, that is cold. Completely agree. Another commenter says, exactly. OP could also try flipping this to whoever asked, no, mom ruined her relationship with the kids and I over money and threw us out of our home for almost a decade. She's the one who chose to lose her family. That's very true. And then it says, oh, there's a follow-up to that. It says, and threw us out of our home that I paid for almost a decade. The I paid is the most important part, since some of the family was probably told that OP and the kids lived there rent-free. Ooh, that could be very true. One final comment says, even if OP did get the money back, either the grifter mom or the harping relatives, I would still cut mom off. Lord knows what mom would pull next. That's very true. This mom or the grandmother sounds like a horrible, horrible person. I mean, to do that to your own child and your own grandkids, that is your flesh and blood. She's just so selfish and entitled. And she's also super greedy too. And again, what does she really contribute to this house? Anyways, do you guys have any advice for this OP? What would you do in OP's position? I would love to hear about it in the comment section. And remember, if you like these types of stories, to continue to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later.